back to my channel. It is 5 a.m. on maintenance day weekend. And yes, I say weekend because this is a weekend long process. I started my hair the night before. I got it partially done, as you can see. I definitely got the parts as well as I could. Could have been better, but that's besides the point. Right now, we are just trying to get all of the braids in my head. Could I have paid someone to do this style for me? Yes, absolutely. Did I want to spend an arm and a leg to get it done? No, absolutely not. So I'm doing it myself. I also want to become a better braider, again, for myself so that I can continue to do these styles. So this was really good practice. Here I am just breaking up the hair. In the front, I have number 27. I went through a little mental tidbit and decided to dye my hair, as every girl does at least once in their life. If it's not the hair, it's usually like a piercing or a tattoo, but that's besides the point. I fed in 2 pieces. This was my first time trying feed-ins. I'm not used to this at all. I've watched videos, but I tried to figure it out and I think it came out pretty well. In total, this style took me about 24 to 48 hours, and that's between taking down my previous style, obviously washing, detangling, blow drying, and then parting the hair, as well as actually braiding the hair. And this style took about 2.5 packs. I want to say it took 4 bundles for the front and then a pack and a half for the back, or at least the black part of my hair. And here's my failed attempt at trying to show you what I was doing. I wasn't close enough and my hands were kind of in the way, but basically I split my hair into 3 sections and then added in a piece to 2 of those sections, braided it down a little bit, and then added in the second piece, making sure to add hair specifically to the section I didn't add to the first time. Hopefully that makes sense. And here finally I'm finishing the last braid of the section, and then I'm following up with putting that section into a braid so that each individual braid doesn't unravel. Now I did this for 2 reasons. One, it made it a lot easier to dip the ends of my hair rather than trying to put an entire head of hair into boiling water. 2, this allowed me to have curls at the end once I took it down from dipping, and it kept my hair from unraveling, and I work out pretty hard, pretty intensely, so I need as much security in my hair as possible. Now correct me if I'm wrong, please, in the comments. I believe this style is called singles or box braids. And I really love the versatility of this style. Because the braids are so small, I'm able to manipulate them a little better, so I can wear them in a bun, a ponytail, a half up, half down. I can wear them all the way down, a claw clip. I just have various styles that I can do with this hair. Now I'm about to show you the work that I did the night before, and these are my parts. Not the cleanest, but I did the best that I could with the mirror that I had. If you're someone that wants to get into doing your own hair, or you already do and you don't have one of those barber trifold mirrors, highly recommend. If you look closely, you can see at the top of the door there's like these little pegs. My mirror is hanging on there, and what I did was I opened it up and I looked through that mirror into the big mirror I'm looking into right now. And if you are a black woman, I highly recommend getting a braiding rack. They do have them on Amazon, and there is an Amazon Day coming up in October. So get you one if you haven't already. I'm already planning on getting mine. But as you saw in the previous clip, I used free twist braiding hair. It did not tangle a lot. However, when there was a tangle in it, I had to pull it out or cut it out. And then I used the Slick and Slay, which I got from Amazon, and that was on sale for about $12. That apple scent is divine. I absolutely love it. I've tried the cocoa butter scent, now the apple scent, and then there's a pink one, which I think is a rose scent. I loved all of them. They don't make my hair itch, and they don't make my braids super sticky. And here I am just braiding the last little bits of my hair, rebraiding certain sections so that they don't unravel. And then after this, I'm going to dip my hair in hot water and towel dry it, and you guys will see the final result in a little bit. And here is the final product. What do you think? Yes, I love her. I do wish she was longer. They don't exactly reach my butt. They're kind of like bra strap length. Now later that day, I am back home putting my hair up because it is time to wax. Yes, I said it, we're waxing ourselves today. I highly recommend getting a wax kit off of Amazon. That's where I got mine from. It pays for itself. I used to get waxed every 2 weeks, and now I wax and fill in my own eyebrows. The pain is temporary, I promise. I'm starting with this pore perfecting toner, which is basically just witch hazel from Amazon. It's their version of the Dr. Bronner's toner. I'm wiping my eyebrows and my upper lip to kind of prep the skin. While I was doing that, I was heating the wax to about 200 degrees. Now I'm rolling it on the sticks that came with the wax kit, just so it can cool a little bit, pulling the skin taut and applying to my upper lip. Really spreading out that wax, trying to get it as even as possible so that I have a pull in one piece. I hate when I'm waxing and I pull it off and it doesn't come off in one piece. It's one of the most frustrating things about doing this yourself. Now I'm just making sure it's cool and pulling it off. Just one big piece, one fellow swoop. Unfortunately, it didn't come off immediately when I pulled it, but that's okay. That's okay. Now I'm doing the other side. And for some reason, this side hurt more. I assume I have more hair over there. And if anyone could tell me what this stringiness is or how to avoid it, I would be very grateful. Thank you. And we pull and pause for effect because that hurt. And deep breath. Now to prevent redness and any irritation bumps, I am wiping with a new cotton pad using that same toner that I used previously. And coming up, we are doing our eyebrows. And might I say, the eyebrows are never as bad as the upper lip. I will say though, it was quite difficult trying to stay in frame while also trying to not take off my eyebrows. I did not have my glasses on. They're not for show. I really could not see. That's why I got so close. And I really hope you guys appreciate this video because that was not an easy feat. Now I don't show myself doing the other eyebrow, but I did take off some of the top hairs during this process here, and it's not super noticeable because I filled it in with the henna brow dye that I'm going to use soon, but it's there. and I know it's there, and I'm really hoping and praying that the hair grows back. So if you do decide to wax yourself, don't focus on recording and just get it done. Get it done. It's a brand new day, and I forgot that I had my henna brow kit, so I didn't do that before I did my eyelashes. I should have done that immediately after doing my eyebrows, but that's okay. I will link this lash glue down below. I got it from Amazon, and doing lashes is one of my favorite parts of maintenance day. They last about a week, and it's a super easy process, and I'm gonna walk you through it. First things first, curl your lashes. I did not show myself doing that. I lost that footage, but you wanna curl your lashes first. Then apply the glue as you would mascara, but make sure that you're really focusing on where your eyelash connects to your eyelid, so the roots. Then for extra security, you're gonna take your lash and you're gonna dip it in the glue. However, you're not gonna apply it directly to your eye. You're gonna let it sit for a little bit. So what I do is I take it and I put it inside of the top to the lashes, and I let it sit there and marinate. And here I am doing that process again, picking up a lash that I'm going to use, dipping it into the glue, and then I put it down and I let it sit. This allows it to get tacky, so it'll stick better and you won't have it wiggling around and wobbling and getting into your eyeball. There's nothing worse than getting this lash glue in your eyes. And you can see here, I've collected all of my lashes. I've kept track of which one goes where and which one is what length. Then for a little extra security, I blew on it, and now I'm placing it underneath my lash as close to the root as possible. And I take the tweezers and I press it into my lashes. Now what it's doing is it's sticking not only to the root where you've put most of the glue, but it's also sticking to your lashes. That's why it's very important for when you take them out and redo them that you're getting all of the glue off properly. This glue comes off with oil. I use grapeseed or castor oil and just kind of rub it on my eyes because they're gentle on the eyes. I've tried lash glue removers and they just irritate and burn my eyes. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, if somebody else needs to do it for me so I can close my eyes or what, but it's completely uncomfortable. I haven't found one that works, so I just stick to my regular pure oils. And here I am pressing my lashes together, again for extra security to make sure that they're sticking and staying. You can also do this entire process with actual eyelash tweezers, the long ones that just make this so much easier and allow you to press your lashes together. I had some, and at some point during travel I lost them, so unfortunately I have to buy more, but they did make this process a lot easier. Now I'm using the other end of the glue, which is a sealing agent, really making sure I apply that to the root as well as both sides of the lashes. This ensures that my lashes are not sticky at all. I didn't apply it to the top of my lashes when I first started doing this, and there would still be some stickiness to it. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and my eyelids would be stuck together. So make sure you apply on the top as well, just to ensure that you get rid of all sticky ickiness. Now it's brow time. I got this henna off of Amazon. It came in an entire brow kit. I got it in black. I know it sounds super scary, but the black is not as dark as you would think. The longer you leave it on, the darker it is. However, I don't leave them on for very long because I don't like super black eyebrows. I actually like my brows to look as natural as possible. So I put the powder in the little cup that's provided. I use that syringe to add water, and this is to ensure that you don't add too much water. And then I'm stirring it together, making sure I stir thoroughly and there are no powder clumps at all. Then using the provided brow brush, I start applying at the end first because I want the ends of my brows darker than the front of my brows. And then I apply in the middle and work my way to the front. And then after that, I go back and add more to the end of the brows. And this because the henna works two ways. One, the longer you leave it on, the darker it is. But also two, the more you have on, the darker it is. And you can see here, once I get to the front, I'm doing very, very light motions. I'm not adding any new product to the brush. I'm going upwards to mimic my natural brow hairs. Again, I don't want the front of my brows dark. I want the end of my brows darker than the front. Now, because you just saw me do the other side, I am speeding up this portion here. I'm doing the exact same thing, just on the opposite side, and I'm also paying a little more attention to the part that I accidentally waxed off at the top. So I'm making that a bit darker, and of course going back and making sure that they look even. And then I let this sit for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then I wipe off the front, and then I let it sit again for another 5 minutes or so, and then wipe it all the way off. I use the toner and a new cotton pad to wipe it cleanly off, and that is the final product. And of course I have to show you with my glasses on. Thank you for joining me on this maintenance weekend. I love you so much. Thank you for your support. I see you again soon. Bye.